A customer came here and brought this car stereo, and I told the customer, I don't fix car stereo. I don't even drive. But the customer told me that he wanted me to extract the data from one of the chips on the stereo. And I told the customer, well, if you want me to do that, yes, I can do that. The customer sent me a photo showing where the chip is. And the chip is right here. This is the chip that the customer wants me to extract the data from. And right next to the chip, we have this two big capacitor, this one giant capacitor, and this plastic connector right here. We don't want to destroy or melt those components, so I'm gonna cover some of the part with Kapton tape and maybe put some aluminum foil or maybe some metal to absorb the heat. And I'm gonna use a low melt solder and use a very low heat on the hot air station to remove this chip. Alright, so the chip is already removed, and now let's solder the chip into the programmer or the reader, and let's extract the data from this chip. Alright, the chip is soldered and installed into this programmer or reader, and now let's connect this programmer into the computer and let's read the data inside this chip. Let's open up the programmer software, and the customer also sent me a link with an instruction on how to read the chip. It says the read is FM24V01. So let's find FM24V01. Here we go. Select and click read. And let's read the data inside the chip. There you go. The read is finished. Click on back, and let's see if there's any data on it. I don't see any data on this chip. This is just blank chip. And the socket or the adapter is correct. This is the location of the chip where the customer wants me to extract the data from. But I couldn't read any data on this chip right here. Let's see if there's any similar chip like the one that we just took out. You have one here that looks similar. 2, 3 that looks similar around this area. Gonna pay attention around that area. So I'm gonna put the chip back into this place, the chip that we just took out but couldn't see any data on it. And I'm gonna check one of these 3 chips, 1, 2, and 3, and see if one of those chips contains any data that the customer wants. So I'm gonna remove this chip right here, install it to the programmer, and hopefully I can see the data or read the data that the customer wants. Alright, let's do this again. Let's plug in the programmer to the computer. Let's open the programming software and double check. This is FM24V01. FM24V01. Select. Read. And look at this. We see some data right here. You see all this data is the data that the customer want me to extract from the chip. Let's save this one and let's name it car. Alright. Okay, there you go. And I'm gonna send this data or the bin file to the customer because this is what he wants. Alright, let's unplug the programmer. And there you go. The job is done and it's ready for the customer to pick up. The customer stopped by the next day to pick up the stuff, and he told me that he's going to send that data file or the bin file that I extracted to someone online to get the code inside that file. He needs to get the code inside that file to unlock something for his car. And with his permission, I decided to open and decipher that data file. I gave him the code, or what could be the code that he needs to unlock something for his car. And as soon as he got home, he tried that code and ta-da! The code works. He sent me a text and he said, "Unlocked. Thanks so much, Dan." And he sent me a photo of his stereo system on his car. And I think the code that he needs is to unlock a stereo system. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this. This is my first time working with car stereo. I never worked with car stereo system. I successfully extracted the data and I successfully deciphered the code that he needs to unlock the system. The customer happy, I am happy, and that's it for now. And see you on the next video.